Today on Rulebreakers, we're diving into a story that's as powerful as it is personal. My guest, Katie, once dreamed of being a lawyer, then a psychologist, but life pulled her toward a different fight, working with survivors of domestic violence. From her own teenage experience with abuse to becoming the CEO of an organization that's been changing lives for nearly 2 decades, Katie's journey is about healing, resilience, and redefining what safety and love really mean. What's up, everybody? We have such an impressive, amazing woman with us right now. Katie Ray Jones, everybody. Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Think of business. This is your woman right here. She's absolutely incredible. The way you carry yourself, the way you conduct everything that you do is just absolutely mind-blowing. So
Very kind.
Yeah, you're so impressive. So, all right, let's get started. So Katie over here is the CEO of the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And I get the honor to be on the board with this wonderful woman too. So tell us about that. How did you get into this? How did this all start? Let's start from the beginning.
Well, that feels a very long time ago. I've been doing the work, almost 30 years now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't look it,
obviously. No, you look incredible.
But I think the work really found me. When I was doing my undergrad work in child and family development, I was placed in an internship in a domestic violence restraining order clinic to volunteer. And I think I really got my first exposure to the issue of domestic violence and what victims and survivors would face and that fear going to court. And I was like, I'm gonna go become a lawyer. And then I was like, I don't think I wanna be a lawyer. I'm probably have a lot of passion and I'm not quite so detail oriented.
Yeah.
Probably
I could see you in a lawyer position though.
Well, I mean, maybe arguing in court, that would be fun. But then I decided I was gonna be a therapist and I was gonna work with victims and survivors. So I did an internship in a domestic violence shelter. And there I did services for mostly women victims, their kids. And then I facilitated groups for the person we would call the perpetrator in the relationship as well. And so I learned a lot about the other side and possibilities of change through people who oftentimes in public we think are just horrific people.
Yeah.
And really saw the human side of that, which was incredible. And then through my clinical supervision, my supervisor was like, hey, I've got this great job for you. And I was like 22 maybe at the time.
Wow.
And he said, yeah, there's to lead this program with kids who are gang affiliated and have substance abuse issues in Southern San Diego County, like mostly Latino kids. I mean, I could not be whiter than I am. And I was like, I don't know if I'm the right person for this. And he's like, I absolutely think you can do this. And then I found working with those kids, so many of them came from homes where there was domestic violence and they were already showing relationship concerns. And so we started doing a lot of work and thinking about that intersectionality. And it so happened, this was a really large agency that I worked in. And they had a domestic violence shelter. And the CEO at the time said, I want you to go over there and do your best work. And then I did residential, non-residential, homeless services, serve families with HIV/AIDS, such a wide array.
Yeah.
And this was in California and we had our first baby and we were like, we want to toss my resume out there, see what can happen. And I landed in the state of Texas.
And this is all at 22 years old?
Well, at that point I was probably 27, 28.
Yeah,
I was still very young. And well, in my eyes, looking back, it feels young. At that time, I thought I knew everything. I've got this whole thing figured out and worked for the state of Texas. Wow. Doing as a funder, like dispersing funds for domestic violence programs across the state of Texas. And then I was like, I'm really passionate. I missed working directly with victims and survivors. And so happened the National Domestic Violence Hotline was part of my portfolio there. And they had said, we think there's this great job you would be perfect at. And I've been there now, going on almost 17 years.
But when you first started getting into it and you first got the chance to be the CEO, how did you deal with all the pressure of this?
There was an insane amount of pressure when I was named CEO. The organization at the time was 70 employees and about $4 million. We're $30 million today, about 250 employees. Incredible. So there was a lot of pressure to know we needed to grow the organization. We had originally been part of another organization and we were becoming independent, spinning off into our own entity. So we built the board of directors, a fundraising team, a communications team that had not existed.
Yeah.
So part of me looking back is like, that was a really exciting time to be able to create something really big and serving so many people.
Yeah.
And then I also look back and go like, wow, that shit really happened. Like we have done so much incredible work. I get the opportunity to work with really amazing people.
Yeah.
Many of the folks in the organization are survivor themselves. So for this issue, for me, it is personal. I have a personal story of surviving an abusive relationship, which I know we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But it was really, I think, seeing people coming together for a collective cause, wanting to make a difference, knowing we're saving lives. And to your point, like working with members of Congress, to corporations who want to tackle this issue. The NFL became, I think I was named CEO in August. And then 2 weeks later, the Ray Rice video of him punching his then fiance went live, and we became a changed organization overnight. I mean, we immediately saw just really significant, severe cases of domestic violence.
Because you're really hands-on too. Like when you go out in the field, as so when I came for like my first meeting with you guys in Austin, you took us all to the I can't remember what the facility is actually called, but basically they're answering the phone to people that are reaching out. And to see you kind of like, you're not just someone behind a computer, you know what I mean? Like you get in there, like you have such a passion for it and you want to help. And, I saw you behind one of the desks and you're like, okay, answer the phones and stuff like that. And it was the most intense conversations like I ever heard. I cannot imagine what they have to listen to every day. To see other people going through the same thing or even worse than that. Because I try to tell people, abuse isn't just physical, right? There's financial, there's sexual abuse, there's mental abuse, emotional abuse. There's all these different kinds of abuse. So a lot of people are like, well, mine's not really that bad, so I don't need help, right?
Right.
But in reality, we were getting like a plethora of different calls. Like there was a woman that was mentally, getting abused. There was a man that was getting abused. Like I say, it's not just for gender too. It's not just one gender that gets abused. It's everybody. And this man was on the phone and he was breaking down. It broke my heart. It really did. But I was just so impressed with you. Like I just find you so inspiring as like, I definitely look up to you a lot because of what you're doing. And again, you're a very impressive woman. But to be like, man, if I have like a big, wonderful business in a sense like this one day, like I want to be just like you, because you're just so hands-on. And the fact that you came in back when you're 27 and you're like, we're going to make this even bigger and better. We're going to help the world with this. And you had like a vision and you're bringing it to life. And I just find that so incredible. Like you're saving so many lives daily and by minute. Because I remember there were some stats that we were looking at there too about how many people get, you get calls per minute, how many people what people are going through per minute. Do you know what the stats are?
So 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men will experience physical violence in their lifetime by someone who says they love them. That's incredibly pervasive numbers. It's nearly impossible for you and I to move about this world and not be encountering someone who's probably suffering in silence. Yeah. And that's physical abuse. So you touched on all the other forms of abuse as well. And I think thinking of the organization and who we knew we needed to become and still need to be, I mean, we still have tons of people who reach out to us for help, and we cannot get to that call, that chat, that text, because we don't have enough people and we don't have enough financial resources to do that. That's the part where it's like, we're not there yet. And we need to continue to push. I think about my own experience, and the hotline didn't exist when I was going through my relationship. I have to wonder what I've called. I don't know. Like, I didn't even have the terminology for what I was experiencing until much later in life. I mean, I was working in the field of domestic violence, and I wouldn't have said to you, oh, that relationship was abusive. I wouldn't have called it that until I was really working in a space for a really long time. And I think you said it, Saraya, perfectly. People will often say, well, it's not that bad. I did it. I said that in my head. I sometimes still feel myself saying it like, well, it wasn't that bad. You survived it. And then my parents will remember something that happened. Like not too long ago, my mom was like, remember when he shot you with the BB gun? And I was like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot.
Isn't that crazy?
That had happened.
You got shot with a BB gun? What an awful person. Do you mind if we talk about that situation?
Could absolutely talk about it,
okay. Whatever you're comfortable with, but yeah, can you just tell us like what you were experiencing? And you were, how old were you?
I was in high school
Okay.
when I first started dating this person. It was my first real relationship. I was head over heels in love. And, you know, a lot of what really came through in our relationship, I always like domestic violence is the ultimate mind trip. Like, you think, like, if I saw it, I would know it. And, you know, I come from a home with two parents who've been married forever, happily married. I didn't witness violence growing up. I somehow heard or picked up a narrative. It's never okay for a man to put his hands on you.
Right.
And yet when it happened, I didn't go, that's not okay. I went, well, you provoked him. Like,
yeah. What did I do?
what did I do? Right.
Yeah.
Like, I pushed him over the edge. That was, I shouldn't have been complaining. And I think that's what happens to so many people in these relationships. Like, we're really cultured in a way with that person who plays that mind trip with you. Because he wasn't like that all the time either. I mean, he would bring me flowers. He'd be like, let's go to dinner. We would have...
It's narcissism, right?
Yeah. I mean, there would be some really great memories, positive things where it felt like our relationship was really special. And then there was a lot of places where I look back and it's like, wow, he did not make you feel good about yourself. He made me feel so insecure. And he would make little comments couched as a joke. Like, you know, oh gosh, you look so cute in that bathing suit because look how big your stomach is. You know, things like, but like, I love this pic. Like, one time he had this picture of me in a bathing suit and I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, I love this picture. Ha ha ha, look at your stomach. And you'll be like,
Yeah.
how do you unpack that in your head?
Right.
It was really interesting time. And like most people, like the average person goes back and forth out of that relationship 7 times.
Wow.
I was pulled back to him maybe 3 or 4 until I finally was like, ah. And now I'm just like, ugh. Like,
Right.
I think back to that time. You know, my colleagues have heard me say, like, when I went back to my 10-year class reunion, some of my classmates had said, I'm so glad you didn't end up with him. I was like, why? And they're like, we just never liked the way he talked to you.
You know, you wish they would say it to you
That's
during.
exactly what I said.
It's always after.
Yeah.
You know, like what you're doing is you went through that and now you're like, I'm going to prevent that to happening to anyone else. I'm going to tell my story and I'm just going to help people, you know, and it's like you broke a cycle in a way, you know, so people sometimes can use this as a way to, you know, flip it and maybe become abusive themselves in a way, you know, but like you were just like, you know, I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm not going to let it affect me in that way. I'm going to spin it into a positive and I'm going to help the world. And I find that's the wonderful thing about it. And it's weird because you were just saying like these little moments, you're like, you're chasing these positive moments, right? And it could be like the tiny, like he's giving you the tiniest crumb and you're just like, yeah, I'm doing well. I'm like, this is great. I love him.
It's going to be okay.
Great. Yeah, everything's going to be great.
Okay.
He's going to get me gifts. He's going to do this. He's going to do that to try and make things like, you know, but in reality, it's just all manipulation. And then you get into this thing called Stockholm syndrome, right? And a lot of people are affected by that, where the person that's abusing them make them feel like they couldn't exist without them.
Yeah.
They couldn't live without them. They need them, you know, and no one else loves them. Like, no one else loves you the way I do.
Right.
You should stop talking to these people.
The isolation.
The isolation, yeah.
Well, and I really love what you said about the isolation piece and having friends who didn't give up on you, because that is the person who's causing harm. That is like their dream come true, that you're going to lose your friends, you're going to lose your family, because they're not going to have them. They're going to have you all to themselves.
Exactly.
And we get our second highest contact type to the hotline is friends, family, wanting to know, how do I support someone? I don't know what to do. I'm ready to do tough love. And we're like, please, like we do not want you to do tough love.
Not tough love.
That is the dream of the person hurting them, is for them to lose the possibility they can come to you at some point.
Yeah.
And I get it's hard for family and friends to watch that. And we want to just say, what are you doing? You deserve better. Like, but it's hard to take that in and actually say, I deserve better. Yeah, I feel that in my soul. My head can say that. Did I feel it in my soul? I thought he was the best I was ever going to get.
Yeah.
And that was going to be it.
And they make you feel like you're not a good person.
Yeah.
You know, that we're lucky to even have them. And then, you know, you have different relationships, because everyone thinks that abuse is just physical, like I said earlier. So they're just like, well, he's not hitting me or she's not hitting me, so this can't be abusive. I can live through this, you know. It's just these mind games that they're playing, but that could be even more dangerous.
So many people say it. I mean, it's even like doing therapy with victims and survivors. They was like, you know, bruises healed, cuts gone. but I can replay that tape in my head and it still makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Yeah.
And these are, this is a journey of healing. And even for myself, I can't say like I've reached the destination, I'm healed. Like there are still some times, and I've been in that relationship a very long time, and I will still catch myself in a mental game that was being played way back then and be like, whoa, like time out, Katie, that's not you.
And like you said, you have memories that you completely like suppress too. So then all of a sudden they pop up in your head again and you're just like, oh my gosh. And it does make you feel exactly the same as how you felt in that position. And I went through to 3 therapists a week to try and get over it, because it was, you get PTSD from this.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And with PTSD, it never goes away, but it gets less frequent with, when you have what's the word? Outbursts or emotions, like that.
When you get like the trigger and then you learn how to process the trigger, then you can be like, okay, you can name it when it's happening.
Yep.
Versus I would find sometimes I might feel like I was really spiraling.
Yeah.
And then I would learn, actually, this is what's happening right now. Or it makes me pause and think, okay, Katie, go back to what happened this last week. And what was the trigger at some point? Like what happened? Was it something someone said? Sometimes it could be a look someone gives me. And I'm like, what is that? Or I make more out of things that weren't there because I'm like, is that this?
Yeah, you overthink.
And so, I'm still in therapy. I still talk to my therapist about this. And navigating that in a space with another partner, been married almost 20 years. And he came from a home where he witnessed a lot of domestic violence. And you said it earlier, like sometimes people who grow up in homes where you witness violence, they have a higher likelihood of becoming victims or the person who causes the harm. And he had choices he could have made in terms of how he engaged in a relationship. And we have to check each other all the time. Like, what is that? What's going on? Because he did not learn healthy by anyone. And so it's an interesting journey. Like, relationships are hard. I know some people be like, love shouldn't be hard. I think bringing 2 people is a lot of work.
It is.
And you have to be committed to doing the work. And you have to feel safe. And you have to feel like you're being treated with dignity and respect.
So I like to be real about money. No one teaches you how to actually budget when you've got a million things going on. And that includes shopping, surprises, and last-minute chaos. That's why Klarna is honestly my go-to. Whether I'm paying now or later, Klarna helps me shop smarter, split payments when I need to, earn cash back, and find deals all in one place. Klarna is your smarter, everyday spending partner. And I didn't always have that kind of help, which brings me to a little something I like to call could have Klarna'd that.
So let's talk about this for a second.
Okay, what?
Recent purchases where you realize you could have Klarna'd, but you didn't. And maybe you should have.
Ooh, I got you.
Go on.
Your birthday present.
My birthday present?
Yeah, totally.
It's soon.
It
Okay.
was way too much.
It was way too much. How much are you spending? But it makes me feel better though to know. Actually, no, it doesn't make me feel better because you didn't use Klarna.
Makes me feel better.
You should have used Klarna.
Why
Yeah,
didn't
no,
you?
I definitely should have used Klarna. I'd have more money in my wallet right now.
Why didn't you use it?
Because I was caught in the moment and I was feeling like a baller.
I wish I could Klarna.
What?
Vet bills.
Oh my gosh, vet bills.
Klarna, come on, help us out.
I legit had a moment the other day where I realized I could have Klarna'd something.
What? What was it?
So I was being a good ex and getting my ex an outdoor patio umbrella. This is a true story.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right, that's kind of expensive. And I bought it.
Where'd you go?
I bought it online from .com. Sunbrella fabric, so nice, weather resistant, all that stuff. It's like $500. And
my God.
And I
Paid
hit
too much.
I hit pay,
got ripped
and then
off.
as soon as I did that, I saw the Klarna logo, and I was like, "Fuck! I should have done that.
You should have Klarna'd that.
I should have Klarna'd that. Legitimately,
Yeah.
should have Klarna'd it."
I think the one thing that I didn't know about, and this is truthful, is that I always use Klarna for the split payment option, just to break things up, except for your birthday present, of course. But I didn't realize they have the compare buy
Neither did I.
until we started getting into this. And I was like, oh, shoot. Well, then I could have bought your present. Very expensive, by the way. Really expensive.
Yay.
I could have compared.
You could have compared.
We've been talking about this, but I had no idea that was even a feature. I feel like a lot of people don't know that's a feature they have.
No. They also have a feature where they monitor your spending.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So they can help you save money, but also keep you on track,
I know this is a serious thing, but I'm trying not to break because Joey is breathing heavier than Ozzy is breathing. into the mic.
That's very disrespectful, Adam.
We're keeping this in here.
I had a septoplasty.
Yeah, he had a nose surgery, which could have cloned that.
Could have Klarna that.
So did I.
But his one
also
just
have
didn't work. Do you still snore?
I don't think so.
I have to ask Raquel if that's accurate.
I'm just holding my breath over here.
The search and compare and also the budget tracking, that's pretty cool. Because I feel like it's easy to completely lose sight of that. And
100%.
So
It's a great app, you guys. We're not just blowing smoke up your ass for this ad. It's a genuinely great app.
Yeah.
If you want to save money, if you want to compare prices, if you want to pay in installments, it has everything on there.
Yeah.
So, ooh, we can bleep that out. Get the app.
Can I breathe now?
yes.
You know that feeling when you're buying something and then 2 days later it's on sale somewhere else? Or worse, you realize you didn't really need it and now your budget's out of the window. Yeah, I've been there. That's why Klarna has totally changed the way I shop. When I say could have Klarna'd that, I'm not just talking about splitting payments, though yes, breaking it into 4 interest-free chunks does make life easier. I'm talking about smarter spending. Klarna gives you all these tools in place so you can track your spending, set limits, find deals, compare prices, and even earn cash back. Like real savings, not just the illusion of it. It's flexible too. You can choose how and when to pay, and Klarna is all about transparency. No hidden fees, no surprises. What I love the most is personal. The Klarna app tailors your experience to how you shop. It fits into your day-to-day, not just those treat yourself moments, but the real stuff too. Groceries, gifts, travel. Klarna isn't about doing more damage. It's about helping you shop smarter and manage your cash flow with confidence. So yeah, I could have Klarna'd that, but now I do. Download the Klarna app to get started or learn more at Klarna.com. CA resident loans made or arranged pursuant to a California finance law license. NMLS number 1353190. Klarna balance account required. Klarna may get a commission. Limitations, terms, and conditions apply. When you guys first got together, was there like a learning curve for you guys? Even though, your husband also, was in a very abusive household. How did you guys kind of navigate those first couple of years, because it takes a long time.
Takes a long time.
Yeah. How did you navigate this first couple of years of like being patient with each other,
I don't know that we navigated it all that well, to be honest. I think in the beginning, people would say what first attracted you to him. Was it his smile? And he was an athlete. And I was like, actually, he made me feel safe. Physically, he is massive. Yeah. But I remember one of my first memories of meeting him, we were at a party and someone had dropped a bottle close to me. And he went to that person and said, that was dangerous. You could have hurt these women over here.
What a gentleman.
I know. For me, I was like, ooh, someone who would protect me. Like, that felt really good. Like, it felt really good. And I've always felt physically safe with him. And that I think was really the anchor for me, was being able to feel physically safe. And I think through our relationship, we're still learning. There are still times when, like, I will say something in an argument, be like, ooh, and he'll be, that didn't feel good. I'm like, oof, you're right. Yeah. And we can say that to each other.
That's good.
And we had to learn how to argue fairly because I think I was still carrying a lot of unhealthy pieces. He was carrying unhealthy pieces. And being committed to learning together, I think, has been really important.
It's like the communication is key, right? With you guys. Yeah.
Communication is so key.
Yeah.
And, we have really strange roles. He's a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
I've been working since...
That's badass.
I mean, he's been at home with the kids. We have 3 boys. Yeah. And even then, like, navigating that gender role reversal can be tricky, especially for someone who was a big, sprawling athlete, for someone who played football. And, people are like, there's Big George rolling down with a baby stroller, the baby Bjorn. The baby Bjorn strapped to him. And going through that phase of like, then I was, the breadwinner in the home. And that was not what he'd ever been taught. Like those are spaces, the communication, as you said, is key. Being able to build trust as a foundation. And then recognizing to say like, hey, this is what's happening for me right now. And I think so many times when we have those traumatic experiences, we're not in tune of what's happening with us right now. And we're way down into the argument before we realize what really happened. Yeah. Which is why I'm a firm believer of therapy. Like,
I love therapy.
3 times a week, yes. As much as you can get it, like I can't soak it up enough because it is so helpful.
Well, there's different kinds of therapy too. Like there was one where, one was the psychiatrist, you know, and then therapy where drugs and alcohol, because I had addictions too while I was with this person. And so I had that. And then there was also like this physical therapy where you kind of like lay on a bed or whatever, and they just push all like pressure points.
Yeah, body work.
Body work and breathing and all that kind of stuff. And breathing is so important. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how important breathing is. But if I'm having like a moment and stuff, I just sit there and I breathe for a second, and then I'll be good. But yeah, I went to all these different therapists, and I kept switching, because with therapy too, I always say you have to find one that you really connect with.
Absolutely.
I think it's so important. So I went through a couple of therapists until I found
the one.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackie. She was just incredible. The only reason we stopped is because she moved back to Florida and, you know, had some family stuff. But I was devastated because I felt like I relied on her a little bit too much, you know. And then I had Bob, who was like drugs and alcohol, but also kind of a therapist too.
Right.
And I could call him at any time in the night, you know, and I'd be like, listen, like I'm having a bad time. I want to reach for like a drink or whatever. And like once you get that bond with them, and, you know, it's so important to find the right one.
So important. And it's not easy. So I think sometimes people are like, I have a therapist. It wasn't for me.
Right.
You might not just have the right chemistry with your therapist. Like, you sometimes have to bounce a little bit until you find, to your point, the one that's going to work for you, and who will call you on your shit, because you're traveling in spaces and
you need someone to be completely honest with you.
And you feel you can be honest with. Like you're not there. Like, you know, I'm a people pleaser. So when I first started going to therapy, I wanted my therapist to be proud of me. Yeah. And I was like, that's not how I'm going to do the work by her being pleased with me. And I remember her sitting there one time being like, I feel like you're not telling me something. Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't want you to see that Chris side of me. Like,
But that's the only way you can get help.
That is the work.
Yeah. If you want to work on yourself, you have to be completely honest, you know? And that's what was wonderful about Jackie. Like, if I was having issues, I'd just be like, listen, I said this X, Y, Z. And she'd be like, well, that's not a good thing to say. You probably hurt this person's feelings, you know, and we need to work on that. And so it took me a while, like you, because I was a people pleaser too. I still am in some way, but like, I'm a lot stronger now, though. You know, I'm not scared to hurt people's feelings in a positive way, not just making someone feel bad. But I'm not scared of disappointing people, you know, if I need to take care of myself first. But yeah, it took a long time to kind of get out that phase, because in an abusive relationship, you become a people pleaser, like, and it's heightened because you want to please whoever you're with, because you're like, oh, I don't want to see that bad side of them. I don't want to disappoint them. I can't do anything out of line, you know, and so that side of you is definitely heightened. But you, when you first started, I'm going to go back to when you first started again too, because, you know, you went through all these horrible things with this one person, and then you come into work where you're working with just a lot of people who are going through the same thing. How did you feel? How are you navigating that too? Because that is a lot. Not only do you have a pressure of running this thing and making sure you're saving lives and stuff like that, but you're also still working on yourself. So can you tell us how you were just feeling? And
well, I think it helped me process what had happened. Like things that, I mean, again, because I still had like early in my career, I really had the mindset of, if I didn't have black eyes, fat lip, I'm not a victim. That was the image I had. Like like I can, like, if you tell me, like, Katie, what was your first memory of domestic violence? Nicole Brown Simpson was my first. The pictures that went up on the media of her physically battered. And I was like, well, I never looked like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's not me. That's not me. And so working at the hotline, one, it was the best training I'd ever received on the issue of domestic violence. And I had already been working in the field 10 years. And I mean, the organization was teaching me so much. And then when I would hear the stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened to me too. I would see threads of myself in those. And so it really helped me process, like, that wasn't right. That's verbal abuse. That was sexual abuse. And even so, like, if you would have come to me and I would have been able to tell you, like, that's verbal abuse, that's sexual abuse, but I wouldn't have applied that same lens to myself, because I still was carrying so much of my own blame. The hotline has really been the place to allow me to come to a lot of acceptance of what exactly happened. And this is the words to describe what happened. I never told my story of being in an abusive relationship in high school until maybe 4 years ago, where there was an opportunity. Someone had asked me to come speak, and that night before, I was like, I'm going to tell it. Here it is. And it was the first time I'd ever done it. I was lucky to have some amazing colleagues sitting in the audience with me. And I would say I think I underestimated how much emotion would come up for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty
It's
extroverted.
therapy. You're kind of like, yeah.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
But then you got cleanup after that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've just bared your soul, and parts of your life that don't feel good are not good memories. In the surface of hoping someone else, like I saw threads of myself, they'll see threads of themselves. Or they'll see threads of their kids to then know, I need to have a conversation with my daughter.
Yeah.
My parents, you know, when I later in life said, hey, this happened with him, and my mom said, I always thought something was off.
Yeah.
But never knew the verbiage or what to say to me. That's my hope, right? That we can teach parents, like, this is how you can safely enter this conversation with someone.
Yeah.
If you're a youngster, and I mean, we're hearing horrific stories from young people now about, well, my friend said, because he's jealous, that's a good sign. It means he really likes me. You know, in 2009, when Chris Brown and Rihanna had their domestic violence incident, we had heard from really young girls, 12, 13, who talked about being pistol whipped, someone knocked unconscious, someone who had to be resuscitated.
Oh my gosh.
Really graphic, intense. To, my boyfriend didn't talk to me at school today because I was talking to another guy. What does that mean? I mean, those are opportunities for us, right? I mean, like, you and I would look back and say, ooh, that's the first red flag. That's not a healthy place. That's the first strategy to isolation, is to make you afraid to talk to people. It's an interesting space. I think that being able to be in a place to be CEO of the hotline, it's an absolute privilege and honor. To work with so many survivors who are serving other survivors is incredible. I mean, we have an amazing board, as you know, many who are survivors themselves, and the passion to know that this is preventable. Like, this is preventable. Like, this is so pervasive, but this doesn't need to happen. And I'm one woman in an organization of 250 people, and there's a large domestic violence field. But we're working against culture. We're working against media. There's a loud voice out there that it really will take the masses to really say, this is going to be something we don't have to think about anymore.
When you say preventable, what's ways that you can prevent something like this from happening?
You know, I think back to, I knew somewhere it wasn't okay for someone to put their hands on me. I don't know that anyone ever taught me what healthy relationships actually were. Yeah. So what does healthy communication look like? And I know a lot of victims and survivors who will say, I got out of my abusive relationship and now I'm getting in a new relationship, and they want to talk everything through, and that freaks me out. Like, what is, because that's never been normal to them. I think there's a space specifically where we've got an opportunity with young people to talk about, like, this is what a healthy relationship looks like. This is how you should be showing up. This is what equality in relationship looks like. I'm only smirking because I opened up social media today, and there was the story of, you know, a church group who was saying women shouldn't have the right to vote, and it's on the media all over today. And I'm like, sometimes it feels like we're going backwards and not forwards, and that scares the hell out of me. That I think there's really this place that young people are going to be the ones that's put the hotline out of business. And that would be my goal, right? We have to have a hotline that serves over 500,000 people a year for this issue today. Like, that's bonkers. Like, we should not be in this place. And yet I know so many people who are listening and watching are going to say, like, oh, that's a piece of me there, or that's my friend. That was my mom. It's so pervasive, and yet we don't talk about it. It's still kind of the dirty little secret.
Yeah. If you can give some people, like, even subtle red flags on what to look out for in an abusive relationship.
So the controlling pieces are kind of your first red flag. When, you know, now with technology, it's often used as a way to say, hey, share your location with me so I can know you're safe. But if they're texting you and you don't immediately respond, what's the reaction to that? Are they looking at your location all the time? Are they asking for your passwords into your social media? Are they accusing you of cheating? How they talk about their ex-partners is a really good sign. So sometimes, you know, they'll be like, oh, they were super crazy.
Every time.
Oh my gosh, right? Like, they were the wild, crazy one, not me. I think that's always a good indicator of that. When you start to see how they handle jealousy is a natural emotion.
Right.
But what do you do with that? So if they become angry or make you feel like you have to explain yourself overly, I would be concerned about that. We also see this trend where people look for really quick involvement very early on in the relationship. I want us to get married, or
like love bombing.
yeah,
in a way?
love bombing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
this is like, you're the best ever, and we're going to get married. We're going to have kids together. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be like really quickly. Pause that. Take some time, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got a lifetime typically. Do people meet and have love at first sight and they live happily ever after? Sure, it happens. That's not the norm. That is not the norm.
Right.
So being able to make sure that there's a safe space of which you're, moving through your relationship. And then that they're okay with you spending out time with people outside the relationship. The isolation is so very common. And are you a part of that equal decision making? Like those, how do you make decisions together is a good sign that you've got a partner who you can, you're going to argue.
Yeah, that's
If
normal. It's normal.
If you're not arguing, I feel like somebody's probably holding something back. Like these
Yeah.
are two people trying to create a life together.
Yeah.
You're going to argue, but do you feel safe to be able to voice what you want to voice
Right.
and not feel like you can't say what you want to say, as to your point earlier, in a healthy, respectful way?
Yeah, exactly. Like there was one thing that when I came to visit, and there was a person working on the phones and stuff like that, and she turned to me and she says that she calls herself a survivor and not a victim. And I was just like, it kind of changed my mindset completely. Like I was like, yeah, I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. And it's so like just shifting that mindset for me just helped me a ton get over what I was going through, because it was still like it filters in and out all the time. But I was just like, wow. And it makes you feel more empowered too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was so impressive. And thank you for inviting me to that, by the way. I know everyone has like board meetings, like I think twice a year. Was
We
it twice
do
a year?
two in person.
Two in person, yeah. The one that I went to was, everyone was so nice. Everyone was so welcoming, and and we played like games and stuff like that. Me and Tommy teamed together, and we were like, what's the headline that we'd put out to, get the most, positive attention or something like that. And we won.
Yeah,
Me and
you
Tommy
did
won
win.
that one. Yeah. So it was fun. Like getting to be with you guys in person. It's not just like a regular board meeting. You make
It's a special place.
It
And I don't say
is.
that because I'm CEO. I felt that when I came in as a director of the hotline, overseeing operations, and just the way I was even treated before I was even hired.
Yeah.
I'd never experienced something like that before.
Yeah.
Just the care.
It was good.
It was
I gonna say,
good. It was
negative,
care. Like
Yeah.
there's the care, the thought. The organization was really struggling financially back then, and they were so transparent and thoughtful, and really moving to a space of like, I want you to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know that all places where you go to work, you know everything behind the curtains before you go to work there.
Right.
And it was just really amazing and kind. And that's the environment I want to create, from the board to staff. Like that's where we want people to feel safe.
Well, you're doing it for
Well,
sure.
thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made mistakes,
Sure.
learned along the way, and been like, I would do that different. But certainly spaces where it's just a really kind, caring place. I mean, these are folks working on the lines who aren't getting paid nearly as much what they should be for the work that they're doing. And that term victim survivor, like we use it interchangeably, because for you, where you're like, I get it, that feels amazing to pivot from victim to survivor. We have some people who still say, I'm going to sit in victim.
Yeah.
Like I don't see I'm surviving yet. And I'm like, I'd make the argument you're surviving every single day.
Yeah.
Even when you're in that relationship, you are making decisions every single day. And it is freaking exhausting, to your point. It is exhausting.
Yeah.
And I think we often downplay how courageous and strong victims and survivors are.
100%.
I mean, for so long, right, in the media, we would see the person cowering in the corner and really looking frail. And it's like the stamina inside of a victim and survivor, like it makes me emotional right now. It's like, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And it takes years to recover from that exhaustion.
100%. And people, I feel like, are always in a rush to try and get over it as quickly as possible. But, it's not going to go away straight away. And you learn how to, again, just survive it. And like the survival isn't just while you're in this relationship, it's afterwards too. Like you said, you're constantly surviving.
Yep.
And I find that wonderful of you to say, because when you have these moments where you're just like, and you have like these thoughts and feelings and stuff like that, you should just be so proud of yourself that you're still around, and you're still, going about your life, and you have, less and less of those moments, but you are surviving. And that's so impressive. It's so incredible. So anybody that's watching and going through it right now, like, you are so loved, and you are a goddamn survivor. Yeah. Yes, you are. 100%. Yes, you are. You should be so proud of yourself. Is there certain points of the year where you get an influx of calls? Is it like,
Yeah, there are. So interestingly, at times we'll see a bit of a dip during the holidays. When I worked in shelter, oftentimes women would say, I just want to keep things peaceful during the holidays. I want my kids to have Christmas, and then I'll come back after. Just let me get through the holidays, as they were planning that exit. And then we'd see a spike after the holidays. And we experienced that at the hotline oftentimes. The hotline is really a unique beast in that anytime a media person could pick up our number and air it. We've had that happen on Christmas Day before, unbeknownst to us. And so, we're trying to give staff also time off. So we're usually working on a skeleton crew because it's usually a slower time. And I remember that I get this phone call and they're like, the lines are blowing up. And someone had aired our number on Christmas Day. And I think there's, times where we see during the summer, we might see a spike. We find when even like the economic situation in the United States is poor, that triggers. In general, people who have low coping skills or need to control things and they feel like they're losing control of something, double down on the control with their partner. So that's when we'll typically see some ebbs and flows around different pieces.
I saw as well, I don't know if it's correct or not, but when the NFL starts, like there's like an increase, in just like women or men, but the statistics are high, more women obviously, but you see that they are getting more abused around that time because they can't control their emotions around the football game, and I got told that because I was streaming, the I keep calling it the World Cup, the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. We were just talking about it and someone was like, yeah, the statistics during the Super Bowl is really high because everyone's emotions are very high, so I'm like, wow, like, because it could be the smallest thing that can trigger somebody,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't take much whatsoever. But I was just very interested in seeing where the heightened, where you get the most calls and stuff like that.
I mean, sometimes we think we've got it. And then, we'll have Super Bowl Sundays that come and go with a blip. Like it won't be a lot. People often be like, well, people are drinking. Well, there's lots of people who drink who don't abuse their partners.
Exactly.
There could be a causal relationship to it, whereas like the abuse was more severe when they were under the influence. But I think sometimes, I think what we find now with most victims and survivors, that first call is help me figure out what is going on. What do I need to do? What do I need to stop doing to make this stop? And we're like, absolutely nothing. No, you could be the most perfect person and they're going to find something wrong. And then like the financial abuse piece, which you spoke about very briefly, it's like present in 98% of relationships where there's abuse is financial abuse.
Yeah.
So a lot of victims and survivors now are in a place of like, how do I even begin to financially prepare? My credit's ruined. I can't get an apartment. There's a wait list for the shelter. I can't get out. Like there's no transitional housing, affordable housing options. So we're now teaching like, how do you begin to try to save something?
Yeah.
And, we saw this during the pandemic where, we had a lot of survivors who had built up this little nest egg and then abusive partner gets stuck in the home with them. And I mean, we had calls of like, he found my secret stash, money's gone, took my stimulus check that was what was going to be my first down payment of rent. So that's why I always think like people always like, oh, why don't they just leave? What's freaking hard?
It is. I hate when people say that. That brings out a boil in me. I swear to God.
Freaking hard.
Yes.
And if a man ever put his hands on me, I would never. And it's like, until you've lived that situation, you do not know. Throw kids into the mix. Cause I always say kids will be the number one reason why someone will stay and it'll be the number one reason why they leave. Like that's why you're surviving every single freaking day.
Yeah.
Like you are surviving and making these really tough choices. And every journey is different, right? Your journey is different from mine. We'll see similarities in those. Sometimes I'm like, is there a textbook that was made for this?
Yeah.
Because we'll have a lot of similarities, but difference. And the ways that we could get out are also very different.
Yeah. It's so spot on when you say about people, why don't you just walk away? Because it really does. I'm like you said, you don't know like you don't know what you're talking about unless you've physically been in this situation. Right. And I look at myself as a very strong person, you know, like I think I'll never get in that situation again, you know.
Well, I mean, you're a badass in your own right. And so I think this is like the beauty of you telling your story, and thank you for that and being courageous to do that, because it is a vulnerable place, even when you've told it a million times.
Yeah.
That people are like, it could never happen to Saraya.
Yeah. Yes.
It can happen to anybody of us. Like any of us, it could happen to men, women. It does not discriminate race, educational background, socioeconomic status. It brings different complexities based on those layers of identities. And it's not, I don't know of many people, it's happened where someone said it was the easiest thing I did was to walk away. Now, I've had someone say that, she's like, thank God I didn't have kids. And I was like, right, because it makes it a lot more difficult. I mean, now we're hearing about pets. Like, we're fighting over the dog. Like, who gets the dog? There, you know, there's an intersectionality between domestic violence and pet abuse, and that, you know, this is your most treasured thing in your life. Yeah. And they're willing to hurt it to hurt you.
Yes.
And I mean, there's so many, like this issue of domestic violence does not intersect with any other social justice issue that we could be talking about. Like, there's so much layover between those. So it's like, we could tackle domestic violence. Ooh, we would take care of a lot of problems in our world.
Well, on that, this conversation in general is something that I didn't know I needed to hear to this level. And I think, to your point, there's the Nicole Brown Simpson reference of, this is what the media is putting forward, this is what you think and assume it is. And a lot of what I'm hearing is very reactive of how are we helping victims shift that mindset to be survivors. What are we doing preventative? How are we getting ahead of that? How are we thinking about the abusers and not obviously celebrating them by any means, but like, what mechanisms are in place for them to get help? Because maybe they're in that position and doing it and not realizing, and deep down they're wounded and they need help.
Yeah.
How do you guide that?
So it's such an interesting landscape to think. Is it, you know, a couple of years ago, I went to the board and I said, hey, we've got to think about the other side of this equation. And if we really don't want to have to exist in the future, we have to be thinking about the person causing the harm. And in the United States, there's not a consistent treatment program across the United States. Some states it's a, 52-week program. Some it's 18. Some it's an anger management course. And this is not an anger management issue. These are not folks who are angry with other people. They're using power and control with one person in their life typically. So one, I think we need to really think about the research to really say this is an effective treatment. The programs that are out there high repeat offenses even after they go through treatment because most of them are court ordered. The person's not going voluntarily. And it's hard freaking work to change. That's why I'm really excited about the panel we're doing with
Ray Rice.
Because he did the work.
Yes.
He did a lot of intensive work to unpack his trauma, what was driving his choices. And that's what it's going to take, the investment. Now, I will tell you, we can go talk to a lot of different corporate sponsors who have said to us, we don't want to touch that issue. We have to touch the issue.
We do. Yeah.
There's a wonderful program in the UK, actually, where they have a hotline specifically for those who cause harm that is showing great results. And we went and visited it. And we see a lot of potential to be able to create that space. On our own hotline, without us doing any outreach, we don't publicize this, 5% of our contacts identify as the person causing the harm.
Wow.
It's confidential, right? I don't know you. I can't see you. You don't know me. I only have to tell you what I want to tell you. And then advocates can begin to build some strategies with them on if you're feeling this is what's going on. Let me give you some language. Hopefully creating that safe space for someone to be like, uh-oh, I may be the problem here. Oftentimes they call and they're like, hey, they're the problem in the relationship. I'm like, tell us what's going on. And they begin to tell us and we're like, actually, you're the problem. I remember walking down the hallway one day and an advocate was like, so when you say that you hide her driver's license so she can't leave the house and you're like tracking her movements, we would consider that the elements of power and control. Like, this is going to be hard for you to hear. And the person was like, what?
Yeah.
But had justified in their head why they were doing all of those things.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that person like hung up the phone with their advocate and said, I never thought you were going to tell me I was the problem.
It's a wake-up call right there, yeah.
So I think we need safe spaces for people to be able to call in a non-judgmental way to talk about the behavior and build some strategies. And then we got to get in front of this before it's even a problem, right? Like, we got to, like, I have 3 boys. They say domestic violence education is my religion and that they could recite all the information from Love is Respect, which is our platform for teens and young adults. And even still, they'll make a comment. They're athletes too. So they get, my oldest would be like, that's locker room talk. It's like hell it is.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Like we're not going to travel in those ways about how we think about people. And this way that I think we show up in relationships or what we think.
Yeah.
That's the way as a man I'm supposed to show up in a relationship. And again, we've got this really interesting thing happening in culture around men's roles in relationships and how men are supposed to be showing up. And there's still a high tolerance of men abusing women. I mean, we talk a lot about sports.
Yes.
They're in political office.
Yeah.
They're pastors in our church. They're policemen.
Yeah.
They're celebrities. I mean, it's a lot of places. And I'm not someone to say like, quit, cancel people. Let's help people.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's give people an opportunity to change. It's a hard work, but we need to make that investment. And it's not going to be a cheap thing to solve. Like it's going to be a really costly investment, but that is really where I think we can make a difference. I remember overseeing a domestic violence response team in San Diego, and our advocates would go out to 911 calls with law enforcement.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was very common. We would see the same perpetrator in a different home, different victims. So we can get one person out,
And then
they're going to find
on.
someone else because they don't know how to move. And remember, he or she's going to get out of that relationship and still think, I was at fault. You were at fault, until we can really get them to a space to unpack what's going on and that need to have power and control over someone.
I find it incredible that you're giving them the opportunity to get better, because a lot of people would just be like, I'm not talking, like, fuck this guy, you know what I mean? Fuck this person, but you're giving them the opportunity to get better, and you're not judging, you're like, listen, what you did is horrific, right? But let's try and change that. Let's try and help you. And it's the same with Ray Rice. I kind of had the mindset, I'm just like, F these people, But I see him and get to meet him on that Zoom call, and just how he's been doing so much work to he made a big mistake. It was awful. Should never have happened, right? But instead of continuing that cycle, like you were just saying about the same perpetrator in different houses, he stopped at that moment and was like, I'm never going to do this again. And he's put in the work.
And he had an amazing support system who said, we're going to help you do the work, and we're going to hold you accountable to that work. One thing I would just go back and say, he made a really bad choice, not a mistake.
Okay. Choice.
Yes. Only I say that because I think sometimes when physical abuse happens, it was like, I didn't mean it.
Okay. Yes.
You made a choice in that moment to push me, hit me, spit on me, smash my phone, yell at me, berate me, belittle me, take away everything that I am.
Choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It might happen in a split second. That's the hard work, right? To get someone to rewire their mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be like, I'm not going to have wine tonight. I'm going to have wine tonight, right? Like, I mean, that should be a really easy thing to change.
Yeah.
That should be a really easy thing to change. This is really hard freaking work.
Well, I think to your point, the Ray Rice of it all, using that as an example, and really being able to tell those stories more, and really being able to highlight how people have overcome, because it isn't that extreme, but that shift can happen, and it needs to happen, but it needs to start with the person showing up and doing the work. And I will open up and be vulnerable in this moment and just say, as I look back and reflect on this conversation, seeing the trauma that I experienced as a kid, and knowing what my mom experienced and how that was passed down and how that impacted me. And then to see the dynamic of...
You're good, bro. Take your time.
My family shift. And then to be in a relationship with someone who came from a very stable, wholesome home. And I wanted that. But I couldn't allow myself to experience that because it wasn't familiar. And to have kids and to try and break that cycle and realize
that was a bad choice. How do I do something better? And I've never physically hurt, but there's elements of control, and it all deeply stems from
It's incredible of you, bro.
Yes, thank you.
what is that wound as a kid. And, you know, I'm in the midst of a divorce. It's amicable. I see the work that she's doing with our kids, the mantras of you are kind, you are calm, you're wise, you're brave, you're bold, you're beautiful. Being able to help them be in a better position. And I think what's really weird and really hard is to be removed from that and see, okay, this hurts, this is painful, but this is giving the kids an opportunity to break that cycle. Mm-hmm. And I say this as I am, you know, in a much healthier and happier relationship. This is a chance to do things differently. And going back to that communication, this is a dialogue. And yes, we argue, but they are civilized counter arguments of like, here's my perspective. Okay, I can hear your perspective. Here's my perspective. And to see that healthy difference and dynamic between the two is really interesting. And I wasn't expecting to have this type of reaction in this
I'm the life of the party wherever I go.
This is healing. And I think like it's that one small step, and you start to realize like, okay, how can I show myself a little bit more grace? How can I show myself a little bit more kindness? How can I acknowledge and see and help amplify the voices that, you know, hopefully allow others to give themselves that space to take a step back and say, okay, I need to change. I am the problem.
Well, this is exactly it, right? Like you said, I came, and thank you so much for bearing your soul to us. That was hard. Thank you. This is the beauty of these conversations, because you never know who's listening and who can sit there to be like, okay, there I am. Like that's me. And I can reflect, and people can change. I wouldn't be doing this work if I didn't think people can change.
Right.
Like this would be a never-ending cycle that's just going to continue to get really, really bad. It's the courage to say, I got to fix a little something. I got to make a little tweak here, right? I got to do a little tune-up on these things. And I can imagine, like, I'm a trained marriage and family therapist myself. So there was a lot of times, like my husband coming to that space of not having the role models, and he carries a lot of trauma on a lot of different things, where I also had to say, like, I'm also not your therapist. Like, not my job to fix. I need you to go do the work. And it sounds like you're ready to do the work and to do that for yourself, for your kids, or your new partner. And that's where we're going to see this happen. It takes both sides of the equation to say, I need a little help here. And we know men often don't say, I need a little help.
It's stubborn.
So
Stubborn
thank you.
bastards. No, but it's just, I was about to say the same thing, is like, that's what's so special about just having you on our podcast, because you're doing such incredible things, but you're going to be opening eyes for people to be like, well, hang on, that sounds, just like me. Like, oh my gosh, like, what have I been doing? You know, and it's just, and Adam has been amazing. Like you've done a lot of work on yourself, dude. I mean, you're a new missus, like you guys are incredibly happy from an outside perspective, you know, and I know, like, I feel like you've kind of touched on that, you know, like at the beginning, it's a little shaky, just getting used to it. And then you guys are good now. Like you have no issues, right? Yeah. For the most part.
It's a very healthy relationship. And I think to your point, it is that idea of breaking your preconceived notions of what a healthy relationship is and what it looks like and what love is and how you celebrate that and how you, I think, just continue to grow and find that softness in your heart. And I think what is challenging, at least it has been for me, is for someone who is very type A and very driven. And, you know, I've wanted to be in the media space since I was 13 years old. I'm here. And then all of a sudden, all of these other elements of life that happen can start to feel like distractions and things that are slowing you down and preventing you from getting to where you want to be. And I think what I've had to take a step back and realize is that they aren't distractions. That is life. And your journey is being able to see that and soften and know that wherever it is you get, it might not be, you know, that marquee banner perspective, end goal, but it's like, oh, this moment, this is the highlight of that journey. And I think it's a matter of bringing everything that you've done to bring everyone in this room here now. I think, again, is just the thing to be able to celebrate and focus on and know that, like, this is part of it.
And life is hard.
Yeah.
How are we going to do hard together? Is the thing. I mean, my therapist said that to me just recently when I was like, I have a very full life. I have a child with special needs. I travel a lot for work. If anything's going to happen in someone's life, my colleagues say it's going to happen to Katie. Like, it absolutely is going to happen to her. Like, it is like literally.
It's the same with me.
I'm a walking Saturday, like, life skit. Like, I'm a walking skit, like, all the time. And I'm always going to think, like, it's why me? And she's like, because life is hard.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. Life is hard. So how are you going to do hard? Together. And still love each other.
Therapists are so great, aren't they?
I know.
You're just like,
why couldn't I
yes.
said that?
They're like, wise as heck. I'm just like, wow, yes, I'm learning through you for your therapist too.
Yeah.
Totally give me a call.
They're a gem. They are a gem. Yes, they are a gem.
Okay, so this just talk about, because we're coming to the end until we get to the segment right here. Please tell people where they can find the National Domestic Violence Hotline and the number, the website, the email, whatever it is. Please tell everybody where they can find it.
So anyone who's watching and maybe saw threads of themselves today or someone they care about, they want to help someone, they can reach out to National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, or our website, thehotline.org. There you can chat with someone. It's anonymous and confidential. You can also text us. You can find all of our resources on that page. You can find a local program directly from our website if that's what you're needing. But we're here to serve anyone and everyone 24/7, 365.
That's incredible. KE and everybody here is wants to help. And we want to see more survivors out there. So make sure you reach out. Again, whether you're a family member or you're the person that needs to work on yourself, there's opportunity to do that here. So reach out. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun now, though.
Cannot wait.
I know it gets a little deep, but it's just people need to hear this stuff, you know, and it's so important. And obviously, you're the perfect person to be talking about it.
Well, and Adam, thank you. Saraya, thank you for your story and sharing it with us today and everyone watching.
You just changed a life right here. You know what I mean? It's like so impressive. Like Adam's walking in here not expecting to, you know, have your eyes opened a little bit. But I just want to say, you deserve so much love, dude. You know, you shouldn't be hard on yourself. You're an incredible person. You're an incredible father. Oh my God, your kids are his kids are amazing. They're so sweet and just.
Thank you.
You deserve so much love, and I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you're a good guy. You've been doing a lot of work, and you're going to continue to do the work.
Thank you.
None of us are perfect, dude. You know what I mean? None of us are perfect. We've all had moments in a relationship where, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know, I was being kind of controlling in that part. You know, like, we've all had that experience. It doesn't mean you're a bad guy. You know, it's just a choice, right? And you can change it.
Thank you.
So I'm just proud of you, and I love you so much. You know, you're
too.
my brother. You know.
Thank you.
I don't like seeing you cry. He doesn't cry very often, but when it's like something that touches his family, oh, that's when you see the tears, huh? And it's like, it just means you care, dude.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you that before we continued. All right, good old producer Adam. I'll go back to roasting him next. All right. So we're gonna go into a segment. I think we're gonna do the prank call. Are we doing the prank call? Is that Speak out? Oh, okay. The speak out one. Okay.
We're gonna smile big.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So the name of the game here is we're putting something in our mouth.
Okay.
And then we have a card and there's a bunch of sentences that don't make any sense, but you have to try and guess what we're saying. So I'll go with three sentences, you go, and then we'll do one more round.
Okay.
Yeah, we only get like a certain amount of time to do it too. So it's funny, a little bit drooly.
Okay.
But you know what? After this, it's just it's a nice way to end, you know, a podcast sometimes. You know, it gets
silly.
Deep, it gets hard, but then we get to be silly at the end. And we try to go easy on you because usually people are getting shocked, they're eating something gross, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. These are great when they're in, I tell you that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see which that goes in. Oh, okay,
Like
okay.
Yeah. See? Is it? I can't talk to you right now because it's not going to make any sense. Okay. All right. Do you have the timer? Ready? Go. You have to say it. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Reached.
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 I reached. I
Bleached.
Bleached?
Yeah,
I bleached?
yeah.
I bleached?
My leggings.
Leggings? Jeans? I am looking at your lips. I'm like, I have no idea. Am I the only one that doesn't know what she's saying? Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it sounds like. Your wieners?
No.
Not leggings.
No. Bloomers.
Bloomers.
Yeah.
Bloomers.
Okay. Old.
Lid. Hat.
Old. That's so hard.
That is hard. Bold. Bold. I was not going to get bold.
No.
That's a tough one.
Bloomers, you're like, jeans? I'm like,
Jeans.
no.
I don't even use the word bloomers.
I know,
That's
none of
probably
us
why
do.
I was never going to get
None
that.
of us do. Oh my god. Good for you though. You got it. These are hard. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Let's go.
Please.
Please.
Let.
Knee.
Touch.
Your
Feet.
feet. Wow.
was a good one.
Oh my god. All right.
I have many skills.
That was great. I was like, how is she talking with no lips right now? My my foot. Oh, burp. Yeah. Became. Puke?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow. Hell yeah. We're taking this to the next meeting.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, there we go. Nicely done.
We're going to be partners, so
Yeah.
we're
Okay, we're
work
going to
together.
do one more round.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Damn, you were great at that.
Who knew? Add this to my
We
resume.
should keep it with you in the mouth though, because I feel like we're all
Add this
going
to
to
my
guess it. Nice.
Nice.
Melons.
Talents.
Melons.
Melons.
Yeah.
Nice melons.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Hillary. Oh, it's going to be hard.
Nice melons, Mrs.
Hillary. You're not going to get this one. All right.
My
Parents.
parents
Aren't.
proud
Of.
of
Me.
me.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yes.
Okay. Hey. Ching.
Pay. Pay.
Yeah.
The hole. Hook. You said hole. Hook.
No, I don't know.
Pay the
Hasn't.
her.
Yeah.
Poor peasant.
Oh my God. We need to do this as a trio.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Brett's really good at this. Yeah.
Oh
You're
my
doing
gosh.
well.
And the next meeting, we're bringing these. And
Yes,
us
we
three
are.
are going to
This
be a
would
trio.
a lot of fun. There's quite a few people on our board I would love to see.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Okay, and it's good seeing you in this light too, because you're it's so fun.
I'm also really competitive.
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
I'm
Us
apparently
three.
can talk really well. You're not even questioning
That's
what I'm saying.
crazy.
I don't know. Oh, this is hard. Odd sleds.
Nonsense.
Odd sleds.
Bobsleds.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Come
Equipped
equipped with
Buff.
buff
Lags.
bags. Wow. Oh my gosh, we're smashing this. All right.
A cold
A cold
bull
ball of
coal.
coal.
A cold bull of coal.
Oh my God, we are nailing this.
I want
I want
a
beefy
burrito.
burrito. Oh my God,
This
we
is the
are
best one
nailing
yet.
this. Oh my God, we got through so many already.
I sneezed
I sneezed. Jesus, she's talking normal.
on
On
you
you
a little.
a little. Why are you speaking
Yeah,
normally
it's
with
like
us
she's
thinking
done-
about?
I'm so sorry.
She's not even affected by it.
able to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was incredible.
I might be able to be a ventriloquist.
No, seriously, you could.
What
I
was
would
happening
give-
right there?
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute, I still got this thing in. I'm having a normal conversation.
that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah. By the way, these are all fresh. We're not giving you someone that someone's used before.
I probably wouldn't even have asked anyways. Like, not a germaphobe by any means.
Okay, so that was incredible. When we have the next board meeting, we are going to work as a trio here. And we're going to go teaming up and we're going to play this game because it's entertaining as heck.
Awesome.
But Katie, thank you so much for your time here. You're so wonderful. You did so much for so many people just watching here and everybody that was in the studio today. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. And to say, you're also doing a lot for so many people.
Thank you.
Really making a difference.
Oh my gosh. I just want to be more like you, you know, and you're just like very inspiring. Yeah, no, seriously, you're very incredible. So thank you for your time here. Brett, thank you so much for coming too, my friend. And everybody, we are going to put the National Domestic Violence Hotline again on the screen, in the caption, and we will be posting it all over social media. So if you, your friends, or anybody else needs help or you want to work on yourself, please reach out. 24/7, baby.
That's right.
All year, all day, every day, okay? So make sure you reach out. We love you guys. You're brave, you're survivors, and we can't wait to hear from you in a positive way. But yes, we'll see you on the next episode. That's it for today's episode of Rulebreakers. Huge thanks to Katie for being so open and honest about her journey and for reminding us that healing isn't a straight line, but it's always worth it. If you or someone you know needs help, reach out and remember, you deserve to feel safe, seen, and heard in every relationship.